Happy to have you guys, welcome back to my another video, and today it is time for me to do my list of top 25 songs of the year 2020 edition. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people do top 50s of their songs, and I thought, you know what, let me just half this and really force me to think about the quality of these songs and just force me to pick out my true bangers that I would be able to listen to in 2 years time and think, yeah man, those were the best songs of the year for sure. So let's just get straight into it, man. I've got a list right here on my Spotify. I've got a playlist that I made for myself with those 25 songs. It consists of many types of rap. Admittedly, I have been kind of staying in one lane this year, mainly just rap, whether it's gangster rap, 90s rap, to some auto-tune, Uzi type rap, you know. So I've been quite versatile as far as the rap genre goes, but I haven't really expanded much outside of that, unfortunately, which I will have to work on. You know, I have to look into other genres. And one more thing that I want to say is that this list, okay, is based on my enjoyment, okay. I'd say the first 15 to 10 tracks on this list aren't necessarily in a particular order, so yeah, let's just get straight into it. For the first few, I will just skim through them just so I don't have to make this like a fucking half an hour long video. So first on the list, number 25, I got Look Over Your Shoulder featuring Kendrick Lamar by Busta Rhymes, okay. Now this song, at the start when it came out, I would have expected it to be a bit higher, but I didn't listen to it for as long as I thought I would have. I really sweated off it for a good week or so, but then I just kind of stopped, and for that reason it does deserve to be on the list, but it doesn't belong higher up. So that's Look Over Your Shoulder. Number 24 is Mrs. Clean by Emine. Now I have actually reacted to this one on video, which is pretty cool, on my Emine Deluxe video, and yeah, this is a prime example of Mrs. Clean versus Look Over Your Shoulder. Obviously Look Over Your Shoulder has better flows, and the lyrics and just everything around it rap wise is just miles ahead of Mrs. Clean, but the enjoyment I got out of Mrs. Clean is a bit higher than Look Over Your Shoulder, okay. This is something I can actually play in the car, enjoy it more often because the subject matter isn't as heavy. I can just basically sweat off it a bit more. For Look Over Your Shoulder, I kind of have to be in that lyrical bag, which I'm not always in. Next we got Hate Me by Miley Cyrus. Now this is the first and one of the only songs on the list that are not necessarily rap, and this one is sort of 80s rock type stuff, and this whole album by Miley was actually really good. I did listen to it very recently. I can't remember when it came out, it must have been recent anyway, but the hook on this song is just so good, that melancholy vibe. I don't know how to exactly put it into words other than that, just so good. It makes you really think. It's that nostalgic feeling that it gives me. But yeah, next on the list, number 22, we got Deep Reverence featuring Nipsey Hussle. Now Big Sean's album, enjoyed it a lot. I'm pretty sure I did react to it on video. I don't think I made a review, and Deep Reverence was one of my favorite tracks on there for sure. And yeah, it's just a great track. The charisma, the amount of energy that Nipsey puts into his vocals, it's just such a shame he's not here anymore because he was an amazing rapper, man. Next, number 21, we got Reefer by DXVL. Now I'm sure not a lot of people know about this one because this guy is super underground. He's definitely deserving of way more than he has at the moment, but Reefer, for some reason, you know, it's not amazing in terms of the flows, the beat, it's not even really mixed well, but the feeling it gives me, you know, I really highly recommend it. It's a completely different style to anything I've heard so far in this genre, especially in the UK, yeah, because this is a UK artist. So yeah, I would recommend you checking this out. Next, number 20, Champagne Shots by Saint. Now this is quite similar to Reefer, but not quite in terms of the style. It is a more jazzy, chill type of rap from the UK, which is a definite switch up compared to the usual drill and grime that most artists go for in the UK. So yeah, I can kind of relate to that because I'm not really into drill, so it's definitely something different, which I do enjoy. Number 19, we got Mrs. Whoever by Saba. Now I have reacted to this one as well, alongside with his other song, Walk in the Water. At the time, I didn't expect this to be one of my favorite songs of the year, but it really was. That chill delivery, the hook, you know, this is the type of shit that Saba was made for, I feel like. So yeah, it's just a great song. Next we got Lockdown by Anderson .Paak, more specifically the remix with JID, No Name and J-Rock. J-Rock gave one of his best verses ever from what I heard No Name snapped, Jaddy snapped as always, and then Anderson .Paak gave a great hook to go along with it. I love the subject matter from Anderson's performance, speaking on the lockdown, to J-Rock with the vaccines and all that type of shit. I just feel like it was interesting. Next we got Daily Duppy by Fredo. Now this is, other than the first two with Champagne Shots and Reefer, I'm pretty sure this is the only real UK type song on here, and that's quite surprising for me because I'm not into that type of shit normally. Fredo's emotion and his cadence is what sells this song for me. It's got the beat, it's got the flow, it's got the lyrics, okay, so he's got the basics down and then the emotion on top. The way he just sounds is just so good. I don't know how. He just carries so much weight with every single lyric, you know, you just really believe what he's saying. And yeah, I just fuck with that track a lot. Next we got Pac-Man by Gorillaz. This is another bit of a different genre, which I'm happy with that it's on here. And yeah, I just really enjoy Gorillaz music, you know, that album that they dropped. I haven't listened to all of it, but from what I have heard, it was great, you know, from the Octavian song to this one's by far the favorite of the lot. And Schoolboy gave a fantastic feature, he really fit the beat well. And yeah, there's nothing else to say about this one. It's just a great track. Number 15 with Spain by Kodak Black, featuring Tory Lanez and Jackboy. Now this is one of them where you might be really surprised, okay? I haven't even mentioned the Kodak album ever on video, and I haven't even heard anyone really acknowledge it at all, really, which makes me really surprised. I have listened to that album and I didn't enjoy it really, other than Spain. Spain is one of my favorite songs of the year, obviously. It's just the beat is really menacing, it's kind of hypnotic in a way. Kodak's vocals, they're layered, they're really different, you know, even for him. Obviously he's gave a really nice hook, and the verse wasn't too bad either, although it could have been a bit faster for me. And then Tory Lanez, one of the best verses of the year, really great stuff from Tory. And then Jackboy, he just kind of stepped up to the plate, you know, he didn't make the song any worse, which I really appreciated. And yeah, so it's just one of those songs that I listened to for a long time, and that's one of the main reasons why I would include it on here. Next on the list, number 14, I'm pretty sure, it is No Explanation by Joey Badass and Pusha T. So as you may know, if you follow Joey's music, he has dropped 3 songs this year as some sort of package of songs, and I knew at the time that at least one of those will be up there with one of the best songs of the year for me. And it was just a matter of me choosing one of those. I thought could have been either way. I would have been happy with any of those 3, but I decided to pick this one because of that Pusha feature. It gave another dimension to the song, and yeah, the 90s style beat is just so rough and dirty and fucking great, you know, jazzy as well, really smooth at the same time. And then Joey with the amazing lyrics, as he always brings out those. Next on the list we got number 13, Hooligan, which I have also reacted to. I've actually reacted to that song as well as Mrs. Whoever in one video, which is kind of mad. I didn't know at the time that 2 of those songs that I'm about to listen to would have ended up on a top 25 list of the whole year. And yeah, I just listened to it again yesterday, and it really reinforced my decision about this one. It's such a good song. From Baby Keem's lyricism to the way his voice is mixed, it's just kind of different, you know. It's not too different, but it is just its own style. I feel like it really, you can tell it's a Baby Keem song. But yeah, next up on the list we got number 12 with Jaddy and Earth Gang featuring Ant Clemens. Okay, now I listened to that song maybe 3 months ago, and I couldn't get enough of it for a while, man. This was a banger. Johnny Venus's feature is just fucking perfect, you know. His very high-pitched vocals made for a great contrast with the super knocking drums, and the bass is just really strong on this one. JD came up with some great flows as always. And then next up we got Stay Down. This is a bit of a weird one, okay, because I wouldn't really think of it as a top 25 worthy song, especially if you look at the songs that came before it. There's some great songs that are most likely better than this one, but you know, Lil Durk really came up with this song, you know. The atmosphere of this song mainly is just great. Black's hook is just amazing as well. It's super atmospheric. Bugger did his thing as well. He actually didn't smoke anyone on the track for once, so that just shows how great everyone else done. Bugger was always high level, as he always is, and then Durk really came up himself, so I'm just really proud of Durk, because ever since Life Now, Cry Later, he's been killing it, man. But yeah, anyway, next up we got Yes Sirski by Uzi. I knew I had to pick a Uzi song somewhere here. Which one it would have been, it was a tough decision. I will be honest, I was thinking a lot about what song I would have to pick from that album, and I decided to choose this one because it's just simply the most listened to song from me on the Uzi album. There might be some songs that are technically better, but this is just the one that I really enjoy. That beat really makes it, man. Pierreborn is amazing. Now we got number 9, Tell Me You Love Me by Juice WRLD featuring Trippie, and it's just a great song, man. It's so catchy. It's got that pop feel, which I feel like I have missed for a while because I've just been on the rap bag for so long, and it was just a nice switch up for me. I feel like this is by far the best song on his album, and Trippie just snapped. Juice actually had a great verse for once, you know, he had amazing flows on that one, and to think that that was probably a freestyle, that is impressive, you know. I used to always hate on him for bragging about freestyling all these songs, but when he does it and the song ends up being great, then it is impressive. I can't lie. It's only when a song by him is really shit, and then when he says that he freestyles it, it's like, you shouldn't have, you know. Next up we got In Your Eyes by The Weeknd. This is the first Weeknd song on here. There will be a few more actually, which might give you a hint as to what albums might be on my top 10 album of the year, which is coming out later this week as well. This one particularly, it really makes you realize how talented this guy is. It really made me question the kinds of picks that I've had on this list, you know. Yes Sirski, if you look at it, really, it's not a song you take a lot of fucking talent to make, you know. And then when you compare it to In Your Eyes, they're only one space apart, and the level of talent between those songs is huge. Obviously it takes talent to create a feeling and a vibe on a song like Yes Sirski, but the singing on In Your Eyes is just amazing, and it really made me appreciate The Weeknd a lot. Next on the list we got 12.38 by Childish Gambino featuring 21 and a few other people that I don't know the name of. Such a great song. I remember it came out ages ago, sometime in the summer. You had that such a weird album by Childish Gambino coming out with all the songs being like dates, and I remember just going through all of them. I have no idea how I actually came across this one because the rest of the album was so forgettable that I am actually surprised that I stayed around to notice this one, because this is a great track. I was bumping that one all summer, you know. This one just really reminds me of that time in the summer. It's such a great song, man. It has so much progression to it from the start, with Gambino giving out those super animated high-pitched vocals that were real contrast to the amazing bounce of the melody on the beat, and then the extra singing that came up later on, and eventually 21's verse. It added so much to the bounce of the track. It was just a great song, man. And the fact that this song is like 6 minutes 30, and I don't think I've ever skipped the song ever, so that just tells you how good the song is when it keeps you interested for that long. Now when it comes to number 6, we got One Way Flight featuring Freddie Gibbs, obviously by Benny the Butcher, on new Burden of Proof album. It came out recently and I did listen to it only about a week ago, which just shows how good that album is and how good this song is, because I listened to it for a week straight and I just fucking love it, man. I can't stop listening to it. It really satisfies me whenever I want to hear a great 90s type song, but even still it's got that modern feel to it with Freddie on a surprisingly great hook, you know. It's got a great vibe to it. It's got an amazing beat with that vocal sample in the background, and yeah, it's just one of the best. I'd say it's the best proper lyrical song of the year by far. So yeah, now it's time for the top 5 of the year for me. These songs are, according to this list, the best songs of the year. So number 5, we got Dive from Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3. I have reacted to that album a few weeks ago now. It's been a while. I know at the time for my review I did say that The Void is probably my favorite song on the album overall, but it just shows how good that album is because I just changed my mind, you know. And even the songs that I really hated at the time, I started listening to nowadays. You know, She Knows This was one of my least favorite songs on the album. Now I'm actually bumping it. So great album, and the best song on a great album will be an amazing song, 100%. And that's what Dive is. It's just something I ended up listening to a lot more compared to The Void. I haven't even really been listening to Mr. Solo Dolo 3 that much, really, even though it's apparently my top 3 song on the list as well. Dive is really the only one that I have really stuck to. Number 4, That's On Me by Mac Miller. Now, I knew I had to have a Mac Miller song this year up in the top 5s area, if not top 3, okay? But I have actually put it at number 4 for a good reason, and that's because I have very rarely listened to any of these Mac Miller songs from the Circle album on their own. You know, for me, Circles is more of an experience that you want to listen to front to back without any pauses, you know, just kind of close your eyes and just listen to it. I don't feel like a lot of the songs on that album work on their own, which is a shame because I don't always have the time, or I'm not always in the mood to listen to the whole Circles project, even though it's one of my favorite albums of the year. I just thought that to me is like one of the greatest songs on there by far. It's one of the songs that I can actually listen to on its own. It's got an amazing beat, it's got an amazing hook, it's got one of the best hooks I have heard this year. It has so much emotion, it's so grand sounding, you know, as opposed to most of the tracks on there that are kind of stripped back, minimal. The jazzy influence on here, as always with Mac, is just amazing, and yeah, I can't praise it enough. It's just a great song. Next on the list we got The Weeknd, again with Blinding Lights. Now this is dodgy, okay, because I usually don't enjoy songs like this that are just on the radio 24/7, but this just goes to show how good this song is, because I have heard this song millions of times now. It has been on the radio non-stop for a good fucking year, and I still love it so much. So grand, the 80s influence. I didn't realize how much I like 80s type of pop. This is just so good. The synths on there are just amazing. The structuring of the song is just perfect. Yeah, everything on the song is just perfect, man. I just can't get enough of it. I actually have stopped listening to it now, but that's because I have literally been sweating off this song for a good fucking year. And even before I listened to the After Hours, I knew this was a great song. Alright boys, now it's time for number 2 on the list, and it is Save Your Tears by The Weeknd. Now this and number 1 could have been switched. I wouldn't have minded that. You know, if this was my top 1 song of the year, I wouldn't think twice about it, okay? I don't mind this being my top 1. I'll tell you why I made this decision in a bit though. But yeah, Save Your Tears, oh my god, this is the best song on After Hours. I took so long to listen to After Hours. I never liked The Weeknd for some reason. I just was never into him. I never even bothered listening to him. I just assumed I wouldn't like it for so long, for so many years. But so many people have praised this album, and especially after the Grammys, they have really showed me how much people love this album. So I thought, you know what, let me just give it a try. Even before I listened to After Hours, I have loved Blinding Lights, obviously, as I said earlier. So I knew there's potential in this album for me to actually enjoy it, and fuck me, I did. I enjoyed it so much. Save Your Tears, such a good song, honestly. That melancholy hook that I was talking about on Hate Me, it's kind of a similar vibe to this song, but it's made so much better. And the structuring on the song, Abel's just a great songwriter, man. I mean, most people already knew this, but I am new to this. Honestly, it's so good. But Save Your Tears is, honestly, I'm gonna look back at this year and I'm gonna think Save Your Tears is one of the best songs of the decade, for sure. You know, I am honestly believing this, that in 2030 I will think of Save Your Tears as one of the best songs I've heard from this decade. Honestly, it's one of those. But yeah, now it's time for number 1. Drum roll. BQE by Kota the Friend. Most people, I guarantee a lot of people, will not fucking believe why I put this up as my number 1 spot, and most people probably haven't even heard of this song. It came out sometime this year around May, I feel like. Honestly, when I first heard it, I was just really getting into my bag making music, you know. I was just starting to actually enjoy the music I was making, and this was one of the biggest kind of guides that I used to gauge how good my music is compared to actual professional rappers, you know. The amount of times I listened to this song, Bass's feature was honestly one of his best verses he's ever done, and he's done amazing verses before. In terms of Joey, you already know with no explanation, he never misses. He always know how to kill this shit. Kota himself did kind of slow the vibe at the start of the song with his verse, but I still really enjoyed it, so I don't mind that at all. I don't really have anything to say about the hook, but the beat was amazing with the saxophone or some other trumpet that I don't know the name of. The sample was just great, and yeah, I just don't feel like I can really describe why I love this song. There's some songs on here that I just enjoy, man, and I just love it for some reason. I just can't get enough of it. I feel like Save Your Tears would be the one realistically to deserve a top spot on this list, but for now BQE is just the one. I feel like It deserves it. It's a really small artist compared to the likes of The Weeknd. I'd say the lowest rating I would give on these songs would be like legit a 9. Okay, so all of these songs anyway, no matter what, are like 9s to me. I'd say the 10s start at around 9 with Tell Me You Love Me. But yeah, here's the list. This was the list right here. As you can see, I was just basically reading off this Spotify playlist that I made earlier. I am not sure if it's a public playlist, but I will make it public. You can just check it out if you ever wish to do that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. Give it a like, subscribe, and a comment if you did. Make sure to drop a comment telling me one of your favorite tracks of the year. Give me a top 5, a top 10, whatever, as much as you want. It will be really interesting for me to read it. Go ahead and check out my links in the description to my Twitter, my Instagram, my Spotify. Give them a follow on that if you want to. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and peace.